In this video, we're going to talk all things protective styles now that the holidays are a thing of the past. But before I do, my name is Maud. Here on IAmMyHair, we host natural hair conversations. On the channel, you will find conversations with women and men from across the world on a wide range of related topics. So if you like what you see, please consider subscribing to this channel so that we can all grow this community together. Let's get started on that conversation. You may have had your hair in a protective style or thinking of staying with it just a little bit longer or removing those ones and reinstalling others. We're going to rehash a conversation that Janine and I hosted at the World Afro Day Fireside Chats, which was all things protective styles. How do you care for your hair whilst in one? And what do you do if yours has succumbed to some kind of damage whilst in a protective style? Let's rehash that conversation. Protective styles. Let's firstly get that out of the way. What are protective styles?
Oh, so I think we also all misunderstand protective styles. We think that kind of any style that hides our hair is a protective style. Essentially, a protective style is meant to not only kind of just, I'm throwing on these braids and I'm hiding my hair for the next couple of weeks, but it's really about protecting the entire shaft of the hair. And you need to think about our protective style on a spectrum. Almost all protective styles are going to do some kind of damage to your hair. You just have to know what you are willing to sacrifice when it comes to these protective styles, right? So, I mean, we all can sit here and say, I'm going to go and get my hair braided, and that's my protective style. And the woman who braids my hair, she's so gentle. So make sure that when you braid your hair, it's as gentle as possible. And then when you're in the braids, you moisturize your braids, throughout the time you have your braids in, and make sure you keep your braids in for 4 weeks. Okay, in theory, let's talk about reality. You're sitting in that braiding chair. You are not going to say a peep when your hair is being pulled any which way. You're going to be sitting there quiet, right? Are you always going to be using that braid spray every single night that you have those braids in? Let's be honest with ourselves, right? I know myself. Like, I have bad habits when I'm in braids. So are we keeping our braids moisturized? Not really. Are we being honest and saying I'm keeping in braids for 3 weeks when you've spent so much money on those braids? We out here keeping those braids in for 2 to 3 months, if we're being honest. So I've heard some things, right? So what are we protecting when we're doing that? What exactly is it that we're protecting? We need to really have those honest conversations with ourselves. Because if we're saying braids are protective style, we need to be braiding it in the most gentle way that doesn't tug at our roots. We need to only be keeping those braids in for 1 month maximum. And we need to be consistently moisturizing throughout that month and making sure that our scalp remains clean and our hair is still moisturized inside those braids. Again, as I said, that is the kind of dream of protective style, but we know ourselves, and that's not always the case. A lot of damage gets caused in the salon chair. A lot of damage gets caused when we're doing our braids, when you're doing our lines for our wigs, when we're doing our sew-ins, and those are the moments when we need to be paying the most attention to how our hair is being done. But I don't think that's always the case.
I once had my hair in braids for the holidays, and that's probably a few years ago. Took off the braids, and sister child, the hairline was gone. So I know this
gone with the wind.
It's gone, and now you're trying to put a style that hides it because now it's all gone. And I'm sure there are sisters who can feel me, and let me know if you can. What then do you do? What do you do for that? Because look, we love our protective styles, but you're likely going to lose a bit of hair and you're trying to protect your hairline, but it's usually the first one that goes. So for someone who's experiencing issues with hairline post a protective style or thinning hair from either color or whatever it is, how could we navigate that?
Yeah, so the devastating thing is that, as with everything, the only way through is through. And yes, we do have that mentality when you've gotten out of a style that's gone wrong and your hairline is giving up on you, you do want to get a style that kind of hides the damage that you've done. But we need to kind of face reality. You're not going to fix the problem by doing the same thing that gave you the problem. So you actually need to lay off on the braids if you want your hairline to recover. So not all hairline damage is created equally, right? Breakage at the hairline is easier to fix. It's much easier to fix. So if you've taken out your braids and you realize that, oh, it's a bit thin, I have some breakage, that's your warning signal to stop what it is you're doing and don't put any more tension or pressure on the hairline. That is your sign you've been given a second life. God is watching your back. This has been your lifeline. All is not lost at this point, right? You can still come back from it. So think very clearly, okay, cool. I've taken the braids out. My hairline is a bit stressed. Don't now run and go put more braids to hide. Don't go and put thin wig lines to put a wig on because you want to hide your damaged hairline. It's going to be painful. It's going to suck, but you honestly just need to leave the protective styles and baby the breakage, until you start seeing fullness. I'm going to touch on oils again. The minute women see hairline issues, they reach for the castor oil. It's like the thing that we all do. And she actually warns against that. And she says that you have to look at the nature of what that breakage, or if you're seeing like patches coming out, right? Or if you're seeing that your hair has come out by the roots. And if you've had really tight braids and you've noticed that there's like little white bumps or bulbs at the end of your hair, what that is your hair has actually, that hair has been pulled out by the follicle. And what you're actually seeing is the hair, like the actual root of that hair. That means that hair is gone, right? So understand what is it that you're dealing with. Is it breakage and thinning, or is it the hair being actually pulled out? Is it alopecia? Are there bald spots occurring? Once you know that, she actually says, go see a dermatologist. I know, we're asking for big things here, but going to see a dermatologist once could save you in the long run, because there are all kinds of various genetic disorders and diseases that Black women actually have around hair loss that we misdiagnose as hairline issues when they actually point to bigger issues in terms of the health of our hair and the health of our scalp. So sometimes it's better to just go and have it checked out to make sure that it's not a medical issue.
But then what do? We spend our hair in protective styles. When we take it off, then what? Like
that tip of washing your hair a day, 2 days before you take your braids down. Because again, that's going to infuse moisture and it's going to help you in the detangling process. I am passionate. I do not go to the salon to take my braids out. I do not do it. I do it myself. And whether it's going to take me 1 day, 2 days, I don't care. I am going to detangle every single piece myself, because everyone else is just going to be too rough. Next thing, someone's coming out with their fine tooth comb, their rat tail comb, and trying to detangle your hair. Take your time. Section your hair. Go one braid by one braid. Don't try to rush through. Now I've got dinner at 10. I need to take my braids out at 6. Don't do it, girl. Stay home. Stay home, please. Like, save yourself the trauma. So those are some tips that I use. I think also, I saturate my hair in water, leave in conditioner, whatever it takes, anything that can give me slippage. And as usual, yes, I know, boring. I start at the bottom and I work my way up. We've all heard that a million times, but that's the only way to get through it.
Janine drops some amazing insights on all things protective styles. If you found this video useful, please share it with your girlfriends, especially those who also love rocking their protective styles, so that we can grow this natural hair community. This has been another episode of I Am My Hair. We'll meet again next time for yet another natural hair conversation.